Today I'm going to make some simple boilies. Here's the ingredients you're going to need. 1 box of cereal. I'll talk more about the cereal in a little bit. 1 can of creamed corn, 2 eggs, and some all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to talk while I work, so if you fast forward through the video you're going to miss some important details, but let's get going. So I'm going to use this whole box of cereal. This is just some generic Frosted Flakes. Just about any kind of cereal works. I prefer to go with the sweeter kinds. I've used the Fruit Loops, you know, the fruity kinds, or the sugary Captain Crunch or whatever. I prefer to use the sugary stuff, but just about any cereal will work. And I'm going to use the food processor to grind this up. If you don't have a food processor, you know, you could just take a rolling pin or your fists, or step on it or run over it with your car or whatever. You need to get the cereal crunched up. And I'm going to do the whole bag. Normally I just do half the bag, but this is going to be a big batch. I would probably recommend, unless you want a giant batch, I would cut these ingredients in half. But I'm doing a big batch today. Dump those into the bowl. And that's all we're going to need the food processor for. So here's the cereal. It's pretty fine. Not a complete powder, but pretty fine. I just want it to be pretty fine so it'll mix well with the other ingredients. Next, I'm going to break the eggs into a bowl here. You need to have eggs in this recipe because eggs are not water soluble. What that's gonna do is prevent your boilie from dissolving as it's in the water. Gotta have eggs. I guess you could make eggless boilies if you wanted to. Just know that yeah, after they sit in the water for a while, they'll just get saturated with water and just kind of disintegrate. But these will hold up for many hours in the water if you have eggs in them. Cream corn goes in with the eggs. The whole can goes in there. Now at this point, if you want to add some colors or flavors, I would do it here at this point and put it in with this mix. If liquid or powder, well, I guess if you have powder, if you wanted to add like powdered Kool-Aid or Jello or something, maybe mix it in with the dry ingredients. But I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla here. I don't think super strong scents in the hook bait is really very necessary, but I'm just going to add a little bit. That's it. Just a little bit of vanilla. Garlic is another good one. I've had good luck with garlic boilies, but that'll stink up your freezer. Your whole freezer will smell like garlic if you got a bunch of garlic boilies in there. But the main attractor in this is going to be the corn. Everybody knows Carp loves corn, and this cream corn actually has added sugar in the can. And of course there's tons of sugar on these Frosted Flakes cereal too, so it's going to be a very, very sweet boilie. And the next step, I'm just going to dump that egg and cream corn and mixture into the dry ingredients. Before I start mixing, I'm just going to add a little bit of flour. This it must be wheat flour for this to work. It's got to have gluten in it. The gluten is a key part of making this dough. So just general purpose wheat flour. I'm just going to start off with just about a cup. And I'll add more as we go. The way I make boilies is I don't measure anything, as you can see. I just tweak the mixture by either adding a little bit more liquid or adding a little bit more dry ingredients just to get the consistency that I want. You'll see. I am going to wear some gloves just for easy cleanup in case I get a phone call or something while I'm doing this. You just whip these gloves off and not miss it. So I'm just going to get in there and start mixing. Get those eggs and cream corn mixed with the dry ingredients, and then, like I said, I'll be adding more flour, no doubt. And this is going to take some time to do this. It's not just a matter of mixing. It's kind of like making a pizza dough. It takes a little time. Once you get the ingredients together, you have to knead it a little bit to get that gluten going, and till you get a stretchy, springy dough. I'm just going to mix it until I see no more dry powder. And as you can see, this is really wet. I mean, this is like a paste, pretty much. I'm going to add more flour. That was about another cup or so. I'm just going to keep adding flour a little bit at a time and then mix it up and see where I'm at here. So now I'm starting to get somewhere. I've got definitely starting to stick to itself, but it's still really sticky and just kind of falls apart. We want something that's going to stick together and be rubbery and stretch. See how this just breaks apart real easy? It doesn't stretch. That means it needs more flour. And when it gets to this point right here, basically all I'm doing is I'm smashing it down into the bottom of the bowl and then grab the edge and fold it over on itself and then smash it again. And just fold it over and smash. And fold it over and smash. And just incorporate that flour in. And this dough will start getting tougher and tougher. And I just want to reiterate that this does take a while. I'm skipping parts of this in the video here, but I mean, I'm spending a good 10 minutes doing this, of just adding a little bit of flour and then mix it up, and then add a little bit more flour and mix it up. It takes a little while. Alright, so I'm getting close here. This is starting to feel like a finished product here. This is really tough. It's really tough dough. Doesn't really stick to my hands anymore. Pretty much only wants to stick to itself. And the pull apart test is the real test here. Let's see what we get. Yeah, see how it stretches right there? Stretch. Stretch, not break, stretch. That's what we want. If you get to a point where you think you've added too much flour, where the flour is not getting absorbed anymore and it's just white and chunky and stuff, just add a little bit of water. Just a tiny bit, you know, a couple teaspoons at a time until you can get it, get that extra flour incorporated and get it into a nice dough like this. This is a huge, huge ball of dough. It's gonna make more than 100 boilies, I'm sure. And I'm gonna make both sinking and floating boilies here with the same dough. And there's no microwave involved with the pop-ups. I'll show you that here in a little bit. I like to put on some fresh gloves at this point because it's time to roll. You can buy boilie rolling tools if you want. That would make it go faster, but this is really not a big deal to just pull a chunk off, put it in your palm, boing. Just do that about 100 times. And that is how the sinking boilies are gonna work. Just a ball of dough. Let me show you how I'm going to make the pop-ups. For the pop-ups, I'm going to use these little cork chunks. You can buy cork balls, or what I've done before too, you can actually grind these up into a powder and mix it in with your dough, although I found that method to be kind of inconsistent. This is the best method that I've found, is just these are wine corks that I just cut up into little 1/2-inch chunks, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little ball first, and then I'm just going to shove that little piece of cork into there and just kind of mold the boilie around the cork. And there's a pop-up. That one is huge. I might size that down a little bit. Oh, one other thing, as far as size goes, make them whatever size you want, but just know that the finished size after they've had a chance to dry will be smaller than what you see here. When you cook them, they'll swell up and absorb water, and then when you dry them, they'll shrink back down, and they'll be slightly smaller than what they look like here as raw boilies. And I like to make a variety of sizes, just depending on the type of fishing situation. And you don't need to worry about keeping them separated here on the plate. It's okay if they touch each other, and I'm going to stack them up on top of each other too. And they'll stick together a little bit here on the tray, but once they go into the boiling water, they'll separate and they won't stick together. So no need to worry about keeping them separate here at this point. And I must say that this dough smells fantastic. I wish it had smell-o-vision, but it just smells like sweet, sweet, sweet corn with a little bit of vanilla. I mean, it smells like exactly how you saw me make it. Carp are gonna love it. When it comes to bait scents or flavors, my philosophy on that is kind of I just go with the scents and the flavors that I like to smell, because I'm the one who's going to be smelling it all the time when I'm fishing, or when I'm keeping them in the fridge or the freezer. I'm the one who's going to be smelling it more than the fish, and the fish like it all. So whenever somebody asks what flavors are best, I just say pick whatever flavor you like the smell of, because I don't think it really matters that much. Alright, here are the finished boilies. Here's the sinking boilies here. I made more of those, and just a smaller amount of pop-ups. As you can see, they look exactly the same on the outside. These have the cork in the middle. Let's cook them up. Boiling water, in they go. Ouch, steam. They're stuck together a little bit here on the plate, and like I said, that's not a big deal. They will not stick together once they hit the hot water. And we'll give them a little stir up, just like you do with pasta. I'm just going to cook these in this water for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes or so. That's all it takes. And the point of cooking these boilies is to get those egg proteins to lock up and bind the boilies together, and then also with the gluten. Also, you just want to get that just cooked and just locked in place, and then you'll have a durable, non-water soluble boilie. It's been a few minutes. I'm just going to pull them out of this boiling water onto a tray lined with a paper towel, and they're just going to sit out on this tray like this for a while. I would say you're going to want to let them dry for a minimum of like 3 to 4 hours, but I'm going to let them sit out for probably a couple days. The longer you let them sit out, the more dry and the harder they will get. So if you want soft boilies, you can just let them sit out for just 4 to 6 hours. If you want rock hard crusty boilies, let them sit out for a week. It's up to you. Right now these are very soft and sticky, and they're firm, but the outside is just very sticky, and they need to dry for a while and develop a skin around the outside. I'm going to let these sit out for a little bit, and I'll bring it back after they've skinned up a little bit and show you what they look like then. Alright, 24 hours later now, and here are the finished products. These are the sinking boilies, and these are the pop-ups, the smaller batch here. The pop-ups are very hard. They're very dried out. Again, remember, these are just a thin layer of the dough with a cork in the center, so that these dry a lot faster. They're very hard. I'm gonna put these in the freezer. These are done. The sinking boilies are pure dough. They're gonna take a little bit longer to dry. They're a little bit squishy. As you can see, they've got a nice skin on them there, and they're very firm. I mean, I'm squeezing it pretty hard here and it's not breaking, but they're still a little squishy in the center. If I give it a good hard squeeze, that took a lot of force to break it apart, but I'm gonna let these sit out for probably, I don't know, another 12 hours or so, because I want them a little bit harder than that. But again, like I said, you need to store these in the freezer, otherwise they will rot. And the smell it's really nice. I mean, I'll try it. Wow, it actually tastes really good. Kind of tastes like a donut. Like a mix between a corn fritter and a donut. I've tasted my boilies before. I think these are the best tasting ones I've ever made. But just some simple boilies, simple ingredients. They work great. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.